Why, hello, YouTube! Greetings from LazyEyebrowReviewer to my 50th review. Say what? Thanks to all who supported me to this point in time. I'm even surprised I've gotten this far. Now on to the review. So today we're looking at TFC Toys set of 6 Constructicons. And at this time of uploading, I've beaten Vangelis to a complete review of these toys, despite the fact he's reviewed the 6 Constructicons individually, and he started this a year ago. But that being said, his review is a bit more in-depth, so yeah, props to him, I guess. So let's start from the ground up with these guys and review Structor and Mad Blender. But first, let's start off with Structor, or as we like to call him on the official side of things, Scrapper, the leader of the team, who I could never understand why. You'd think Hook could be the leader. No? Just me? Okie dokie then. Back to Scrapper. I think he looks awesome. Very G1-esque, except I can't figure out what these stupid purple wings are supposed to be here, but whatever, seriously though. He can get some pretty awesome poses out of this guy, like pointing and shooting. Articulation on this guy is a swivel head, 90-degree shoulders, 360-degree swivel shoulders, 180-degree elbows that are kind of silly looking if you pose them anyway, but straight and all the way bent. This is for a different reason, but he's got a sideways ab crunch, which all it really makes you thinking of is tipping him over and pouring him out. Universally jointed hips, swiveling thighs, and a ratcheted knee. Very articulate indeed, but then again, most of these guys are in reality. To transform him, push the head down into his chest, bring the forearms up and fold in the hands, extend the backpack type thing, fold in the heels and ratchet the legs back and around. Then fold the backpack / exhaust into place and extend the clamps in place. Then rotate the front wheels 180 degrees and then place the arms at his sides. And here we have Structor, as they'd like you to have him. But again, I think these wings look positively stupid and should come off. They're for an entirely different reason and should stay that way. However, you can place his guns here as exhaust stacks. Not really a look I especially like with the asymmetrical nature of them, but they're there if you dig it. Get it? Dig it? Because he's an earth mover, and he did... Oh, never mind. On to the next guy. Mad Blender, or as we all know him, Mixmaster. Mixmaster's team member number 2, and was known for coming up with all sorts of concoctions of acids and so forth. For a more geo-inaccurate look, you can place the purple piece up above his head like so. From the back, Mixmaster looks a little off with that giant drum hanging off his back. I always remove it, simply for the fact that his focus in this rendition of Mixmaster, or even Mad Blender here, isn't mixing or blending. If you take the barrel apart, you can get a plethora of super ridiculously amazing weaponry that you can place all around his body. I mean, look at this. Shoulder cannons, leg cannons, a sniper rifle, arm cannons, sniper leg, blaster thighs. Seriously, how much firepower does one man need? Or robot. I pity the Autobot who meets up with this version of Mixmaster. I mean, someone is seriously going to get smoked here. And not smokescreen. As for articulation, it's pretty much the same. Swivel head, moving wheel plates, out-moving biceps, swivel arms, 90-degree arms this time, and, together now, tip them over and pour them out. Waist swivel, universal jointed hips, leg swivel, and a ridiculous knee bend. Seriously, look at this. He can totes do an Iron Man, or propose to his leader for some reason. Okay, I have weddings on my mind, give me a break. Sheesh. Sniping out unsuspecting Autobots. Great articulation and great posability for this figure. Top notch. To transform him, retract the head, fold in the hands, fold the arms up, rotate the shoulders around. On the back, fold down the back plate and fold the shoulders up. Then fold the back plate down and tab it into place. Fold the wheels down, swivel the waist around, swivel the thighs around while keeping the legs facing forward, then snap the legs together. Then accordion the sides into the cab. Fold down the toes, fold up the heels, replace the barrel, and peg it into place, and we're done. This guy is awesome, in my opinion, especially with his Repro Labels kit. He's actually the only figure I highly recommend it for. It gives him a purple barrel like in the cartoon, as well as a purple windshield, headlights, and so forth. And because of the ab crunch joint, he can even turn while his barrel still spins. How awesome is that? Now on to figure 3, Heavy Labor, or Long Haul. Long Haul was a dump truck of the crew, and I think this looks like a great updated rendition of our favorite little big guy. He also can do some dynamic poses, like pointing and shooting, and the Iron Man stance, and is all around just a pretty cool figure. Out of the 6, he ranks about average with me, but still pretty cool. Articulation features a swivel head, swivel arms, ball-jointed shoulder, swiveling arms with a 90-degree bend. As for the legs, they are extremely stiff ratchet joints for a rather good reason, for his forward and outward motion. Swiveling legs and a good knee bend. Decent enough articulation, really. Decent enough to be kneeling all sneaky-like. or falcon-kicking Autobots in the chest. To transform him, open his chest and swivel his head in. Put up his arms, swivel forearms around and close the flaps on his shoulders. Flip the hands around and close the flaps on the forearms, which just peg into place. Bring his back up, and then close his arms over top to make a dumper load. Swing the legs around and fold down the feet. Followed next by bringing the rest of the truck down. Once again, you can place the guns in him as well for a smokestack look, but again, the neon translucent orange just can't seem to get enough attention and draws your eyes to it like a 2-year-old that didn't get his toy at Toys R Us. I've never had to experience this, don't ask. For a comparison, here's Mixmaster, and either Mixmaster's too big, which I'm heavily leaning towards, or Long Haul is too small, which could also be true, because there is no way these two are in proper scale, and unfortunately, his dumper bucket doesn't dump. So that sucks. It seems like nobody can get a dump truck transformer right. I haven't even seen a dump truck that's dumped yet. If anyone knows of one, let me know. Anyway, we're halfway through the figures now, so enjoy this intermission. Rock, paper, scissors. Dang, another tie. Moving on. Now keep calm. He's a doctor. Oh no, not the doctor, but Dr. Crank. Or Hook. Because that is in 4 syllables. And reminds me of a really good movie. Oh man, why didn't they call this guy Captain Crank? Then it would have been all like, and this is Captain Hook. Oh well, this is Hook. Hook is an alright figure. He thankfully comes with the option of removing his crane, but you can also leave it on if you so desire for extra stability. And put him on him sideways like a giant bazooka, RPG launcher of sorts, and he can still use his winch. Or extend the crane and BAM! Fly fishing. Articulation features a swivel head, almost all the way swivel shoulders, outward moving shoulders, swivel biceps, and 180-degree arms that suffer from the same degenerative bone disease that Scrapper has. In other words, his elbow breaks off every time. Universal hip, swivel thighs, and a 180-degree knee bend for poses such as the Iron Man or the Falcon kick. Poor Trax. To transform him, rotate the head around, tap the shoulders into his head, swing the arms around and peg them into his back, bring the belly wheels around, fold in the heels and rotate the legs up and around, then push down the panels that form the windshield, then finally replace the crane. Seriously, I love the look of this guy. Out of all the vehicle modes, this one is one of the most functional and playable. There's one other, but I'm getting to him. Here we can see the crane extends, and if you did what I did and attach thread to the crane, it can lower on a winch system for the hook to lower. Awesome! Seriously, I love this guy. Now let's tow in our next guy, that being Excraver, or Scavenger as us North Americans say. Well, I'm sure British and Australian people call him that too, but I'm not in England or Australia, so let's just move on. Scavenger gets the privilege of being an excavator, which is awesome, but more on that later. Let's talk about robot mode. Scavenger looks amazing in this mode despite his weird-looking legs. He does finally have a head that can look up for once, so if he crouches, he can still look straight ahead, which is super sweet. Since we're on that subject, the head can look up, left, and right due to a ball joint system. Swivel shoulders, outward shoulder, 90-degree elbow, swivel hand, swivel waist, ball-jointed legs, swivel thigh, and a knee bend. Perfect for kneeing Autobots where the sun don't shine. Ooh. Or begging for Megatron's forgiveness for digging up his flower bed. Hey, he's an excavator, he can't help it. For transformation, move his shoulders up, spin around the arms, spin the hands, and fold them down. Then fold the chest plate down. Swivel around the waist, cockpit tabs in near the head, fold up the feet and straighten out the legs to make treads, fold out these tabs in the lower section, and peg them into the treads for a more stable figure. Finally, replace the shovel. And dang, this guy is just as cool in vehicle mode as Hook over here, just for the playability. Hey, what can I say? I like construction vehicles, and I love the pistons that are everywhere. This thing is totally accurate, totally realistic, and I love how realistic the shovel looks, picking up stuff and letting it go. Easily one of my favorite vehicle modes out of all the 6. Now for our final guy, Neckbreaker, or the more amazing version of his name, Bone Crusher. Seriously, one just sounds like he's going to kill you, the other sounds like there won't be any trace left. Which one do you think sounds more frightening? Bone Crusher 1296 here features the same legs as the excavator on the other side of Hook. There's a major difference though. He has footsie options. First, he can have the standard feet configuration, but I like that it has a bit more detail. Second, he can rotate the bulldozer shovel to form feet, or flip them upside down to form different feet. Altogether, I think these options are awesome, and they're there for whoever likes which one. Personally, I like option number 2 the best. I mean, the possibilities are endless with Bone Crusher 1296. Another option is to pop the Devastator hands in and then fold his hands into his arms for a Hulk look, to which he can give you the thumbs up, pound it and salute, or Hulk smash! For sake of time, or for the fact that I'm getting carpal tunnel for writing this long review, his articulation is pretty much the same as Scavenger, so go watch his if you really want to know. To transform him, unclip and move his bib out of the way, rotate the arms around, fold in his hands and close up the grills, swivel his waist around, move up his arms, peg them around the cockpit and move the grills down and around and peg it all together, swing the treads around, peg them into the body, and then unfold the bib and peg it into the other bulldozer bits to make a giant blade. Honestly, this guy doesn't look bad. Not great, but not bad. I mean, there certainly are better vehicle modes in the team, but meh. He has limited articulation in his bulldozer blade, but it's going to be on the ground pushing things around anyway, so no big deal. So now let's get on to making the big guy come out. Start with all your figures in vehicle mode. First, take this plate off Mixmaster and put it aside. Move the barrel up and spin around the bracket that holds the barrel in place. Then move the cab up and tab it into place. Scrapper gets his weird wings removed and pegged into the bottom piece for Mixmaster to form a chest wing for later. A much better reason, I must say. Move the scoop up and rotate the front wheels around, and now we have two legs. Long haul couldn't be any simpler. Move the legs down and swivel them. Move the dump down and peg them into the legs. Make sure to flip up the cab, though. On hook, remove the crane, flip these two pegs down and around, fold them in half, flip over the locking tab, and then bring out its head and tab the neck into place. Add a little visor from Bone Crusher, and then lock this into long haul. Then add a little chest piece. As for these two guys are mostly the same, I'm going to do them at the same time. Spin the shovel around on Scavenger, and then split the legs, and swing them around. On Bone Crusher, fold up the blade and move it up. And may as well spin them around while we're at it. Then fold the treads in half and add hands. On Bone Crusher, lock the outer blade bits together and swing it around for a flush look. Lock it all together, and finally, here for you is Disney's Devastator. Wait, that's not... TFC Hercules. TFC Devastator? There we go, that's better. Honestly, this guy is just killer. Easily the best Devastator ever. I've seen Make Toys Giant, and I don't like the look quite as much as I love this guy, because this guy is just awesome. The rep labels on Mixmaster even just make this set for me, with that purple leg. This is G1 Devastator. This is the toy that accurately represents the cartoon look of him. Not so much the toy, but the animated look, while still keeping most of the parts on him, save for the chest wing and the hands. There is very, very little parts forming to achieve this look, and I completely love it. I might even say, I dig it. The articulation isn't super great, but hey, he weighs quite a few pounds. I don't expect it to be a masterpiece. I mean, his head moves, arms are on a really narrow ratchet, meaning he only gets a few positions. Same with his forearms, which makes it really hard for stop motion, I have to say. But he can still karate chop, hands swivel around, and each finger is individually articulated. On hinges so they're locked in place, but still move. Little bit of waist swivel, wide range of splits action, but if you remember from Long Haul's section, you pretty much know what he can do in his legs. Thigh swivel, knee bend, and an awesome ankle joint as seen in the teapot sections. And if you combine all his guns together, like you combine all the other figures together, he gets a gun! And the other one, a bright orange gun! I like the purple one better. For size comparison, here's Masterpiece Prime and Soundwave. I think these guys are a bit big on Devastator, but whatever. Deluxe Thundercracker and United Tracks, because I broke my RTS tracks and I wasn't buying that crap again. Patrol Specialist and Masterpiece Sideswipe. I told you to compare these two in a future review, and I still think they look great together. United Jazz, because Reveal the Shield Jazz sucked, which means I have two Jazz's guns, and I think they look great as pistols, and what better than dual pistols? Am I right? Am I right? That being said, where's my Masterpiece Jazz, Takara? Huh? I mean, you're coming out with a Masterpiece Edition of this little run, so VW must obviously be giving out licensing for VW at Porsche and so forth, so where's Jazz? Okay, now I digress. In short, I love Disney's Devastator. He is definitely a must-have if you can fork out the $400 to $600 for him. I bought mine on eBay with free shipping for $424, so he is out there at a good price. You just have to know where to find him. So this has been a really long 50th review.